just 1 year, China's humanoid robots have gone from this to this. This week, China unveiled some of its most advanced humanoid robots during the annual Spring Gala Festival that celebrates the start of the Chinese New Year. These Kung Fu masters put on a dazzling display for the televised event, with backflipping fight scenes and sword-swinging stunts in a clear show of China's rapidly developing robotics industry. But what's really got people talking is just how advanced these robots are. Take the same Spring Festival display just 1 year ago, where humanoid robots were seen twirling handkerchiefs and dancing across the stage. Viewers were stunned then. And now, look at the progress, just 1 year later. This video shows how the 2026 robots were trained to become Kung Fu masters. It's no secret that China wants to win the AI and technology war over the United States, reportedly spending hundreds of billions of dollars each year on research and development. And when you see progress like this, you'd be a fool to write China off.
Why does everybody want iRobot to come true, bro? They're literally funding iRobot. It's just in the earlier stages, man. They was just doing the handkerchiefs then. Whose idea was it to turn them to Kung Fu masters, man? You just speed up the timeline, bro.
Alright, here we go, let's go. And action. Plastoline! 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 Plastoline!
All on plastic.
Plastoline! Plastoline! Plastoline!
This is plastoline. Gasoline I make from plastic waste, 110 octane, and this right here is a Rolls Royce. And we are about to fuel the first luxury vehicle in the world ever to operate off of 100% plastic waste, plastoline. Huntsville, Alabama, this Saturday, March 21st, Rocket City Dragway. Be there and be a part of history to see the first luxury vehicle to ever run off of 100% plastic waste. You guys think it's gonna run? Yeah! Do not miss out on history. Be there March 21st, Huntsville, Alabama. This is Huntsville history, Alabama history, humanity history. Let's go. Plastoline! Plastoline! Plastoline!
Keep that man safe.
Plastoline!
The strange noise is back, y'all. This is the type of story that got people shaky. Because how do you explain a noise that is shaking people's houses, keeping them up at night, but no one can tell them what the noise is or where it's coming from? Y'all remember the loud noise people said they was hearing in the sky and shit? It's back. And they said the noise be so loud that it's shaking people's homes and they can't even sleep. And it's not happening in just one state. Multiple states is reporting the same damn noise. We've been going through these noises for a couple years and no one can explain what it is. But they said it's getting louder. The latest states that have been hearing this noise is New Jersey, Connecticut, and Virginia. And the crazy part about it, they're saying it's not just a boom and it's gone. They said the jump just keep going. They can feel it in their walls, they can feel it in their chest. And when they're asleep, they jump out their sleep like, what is going on? That ain't good in my opinion. If this noise keep coming back and no one knows where it's coming from, but now it's getting louder and it's getting more frequent over more states, what the can that be? And it's coming from the sky?
UFOs.
Y'all let me know down below in the comments what y'all think is going on.
My guess. Ariel, no! Or it could be a dolphin. Okay, scratch that.
When you can't legally call it a burger, after watching that video of the CEO of McDonald's not want to eat it, it kind of made me think about things twice. Because they know a lot more about these products than we do. So if they're not eating that shit, why in the fuck would anybody else? You have to start thinking critically. There's a reason why there's millions of McDonald's everywhere, but zero farms in sight in cities. Once you just think, things start making sense.
first place I went to see what they were doing was Antarctica, because like I had to know, like, why is every president around the world all coming to Antarctica and yet there's a no-fly zone? So there's a couple things there. One, I did see a giant hole in Antarctica that was there. Later I found out that that goes to an inner Earth civilization.
Okay, pause real quick. Beardmore Glacier, that's what it's called. So it's like a massive hole, right?
Yeah, massive
I know
hole.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, many years later, I went back to the hole to go into it to like check out, and I was like, "What? They have like a sun down there? Like it's crazy."
What?
Yeah,
So like an artificial sun?
it's an artificial sun.
I mean, China was doing that.
But really, like that time, so I was like maybe 19 years old, and I went to this underground Antarctic base. It looked like nothing from the outside, and so I went in, and this was the only remote view that I had until I tried the military-style remote viewing, where I could feel the dampness. So I was going down this hallway, and it was a fully cement, like smooth carved cement, sort of rounded hallway, and there's all these like little rooms, and you can hear screaming. It wasn't very populated, and as I go into these rooms, I'm seeing these soldiers that were on these beds. Most of them were pretty deformed, but they looked like mutants, genetic experiments.
Sounds like.
There you go.
And so this was back in 2010 that I saw this, right? I didn't speak up until probably 2021 or 2022 about what I saw, because the obvious.
2010 wouldn't have been a good time to speak on
No,
that.
it would not have been. And so then I kind of asked the question, like, why are they doing these genetic sort of mutations and experiments, and they're not very good at it because a lot of these victims are in pain. Like, they just weren't functioning well. It felt like they were trying to create a super soldier. That was the vibe that I got. I'm floating down this hallway, right, investigating, and all of a sudden there's this giant man in his white light body, which would be an astral body or a remote body, but like large, like 6'3" probably. Before I could even clue into who this was or what he was doing there, he goes like this, and I get kicked out of the base. Kind of scary predicaments that I got myself into as a remote viewer, just not really knowing.
Right.
I went back to the Antarctic base just recently, probably in the last year, totally cleaned out, shut down.
How long ago was that first time that you did that?
2010.
So what's interesting about that is we've talked to another remote viewer, and she said the same thing. They're doing a lot of experiments like that. It's funny that all these remote viewers have the same kind of story, and now we're seeing it in the Epstein files, because in the Epstein files, he's talking about looking into time travel and mutants. And I think that the surface level is the trafficking stuff, but when you go deeper into it and what he was really into, bioengineering, eugenics, he was looking into time travel, he was looking into mutants, he was looking into all these different things. Now we see it.
I think the public is going to be looking at us a lot different now that the Epstein files have come out.
Yeah,
People
now
like
it's just
us.
investigative journalism. We're
Now
not
we all don't sound so crazy.
now we don't sound so crazy.
It's all there in front of our eyes, bro.
Everything about the Oscars is actually an ancient Egyptian ritual.
What?
Yes, fam. This is the Egyptian god Ptah, P-T-A-H. What does it look like?
Oh, that was
Looks just like the Oscar. Just like the Oscar. Boom. Same The whole Oscar itself is actually a copy of an old ancient Egyptian god that they used to worship and do the ritual to give praise to craftsmen, artists, and architects. Ptah is an ancient Egyptian creator god primarily worshipped in Memphis, regarded as a divine architect. So this was like their god for artists. So it's not bad. But why are they doing ancient Egyptian rituals at the Oscars though? Everything about ancient Egypt, those type of rituals, lead back to Freemasonry. Because the pyramids, Illuminati eye, it all adds up, man. Them doing these ceremonies, it's literally showing their praise to an ancient Egyptian god.
So if you win an Oscar, are you like part of that club now? I never knew that, man. But the Oscar statue and the picture of the Pharaoh god, they were matching up though. So there's not much I can do to unexplain that.
So you're telling me that this whole time chakra alignment is literally rewriting the way the universe responds to us, and that if you start tuning your frequency, these frequencies can help tune your mind, body, and spirit to awaken the light. And once that light is awakened, your reality starts responding to you. Your thoughts become action, and the world stops controlling your internal energy.
Okay. Who's in the choppers? What is going on in that sky, bro? I've never seen picking cloud formations like that before. The heck? They look like giant trees, bro. I can't be the only one thinking that. It's flashing too.
This Russian engineer has just spent the last 6 years in his garage creating a real-life Iron Man suit. And this is not some little fun gimmick. Bro has literally invented certain elements specifically for this suit, like hydrogen artificial muscles. You see those wires? They are connected to his muscles, so when he flexes, the suit moves with him. And it only gets crazier because he created a real plasma repulsor that creates such a quick hydrogen explosion that it can't even be captured on his camera. And just like the entire Iron Man suit is powered by Tony Stark's chest piece, RIP to a real one, so is this suit. He created the world's first fully functional personal hydrogen reactor that powers those plasma shots, the artificial muscles, and even this. Real hand burners that can reach temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Celsius. He made it by creating an electrolyzer that splits water into hydrogen and oxygen, which are then combined and ignited to produce the torch's flame. And the hardest part about this is creating a really powerful continuous torch, while also preventing it from blowing out, overheating, and just burning his hand off. So he casually solved this by designing a system with multiple nozzles and then added an inbuilt cooling system. Bro is literally Tony Stark at this point. Now he's currently working on the outer layer of this suit, which has taken him several months just to create the head and torso. Because he didn't just pick up the first material and get cracking. He has designed every element of this suit to fit his body perfectly, which is painstaking. He went from pencil sketches to creating an entire clay model. He then used high-resolution 3D scanning to create a precise digital copy. He 3D printed those parts separately, strength-tested countless materials, and then reinforced those pieces with Kevlar and carbon fiber. He even wrote and played the music he uses in the background of his videos. Oh, and he also holds the Guinness World Record for the world's first retractable lightsaber. And after 6 years, he's getting close. The question is, which will be complete first? GTA 6 or a real-life Iron Man suit?
What? Yeah, I know what I'm going with. Real-life Iron Man suit, bro. That's actually crazy, bro. Alex Labs, I gotta check out his channel, man. See if he actually completed the suit, bro. You guys know, man, that's coming for GTA 6, bro. That's just a fact.
Why isn't anybody talking about the fact that there are parts of Hawaii that's literally underwater right now? If it wasn't for people posting about it, we probably wouldn't even know what's going on.
I mean, Hawaii, look at this flooding. Dude, this is unreal. It's a freaking hurricane out here.
They're saying that right now, Hawaii is going through the worst flood that it's ever had in the last 20 years. Look at this shit. You have homes that's underwater. You can see cars here that are underwater. It looks like this whole area is underwater and nobody is speaking about it. Mind you, they're saying that this is about to get worse. They're saying that the whole North Shore is flooded. Roads are closed, which means if it's an emergency, these people are not even able to get out. They're also saying that the Wahiawa Dam is on the verge of going. This is more than just a state of an emergency. People are in danger of losing their lives. They're saying that this came from a relentless series of Kona low storms. And these storms dropped at least 16 inches of rain on this community. Mind you, this all happened within 24 hours. Rescue teams are having problems rescuing these people. They're pulling people from rooftops. There may even be people that might not be able to be rescued. And again, they are not talking about this. We gotta spread the word. I'm out.
Have to.
is under fire after a chest was found with over 350 frozen squirrels in their walk-in freezer.
No! What the? Come!
Chinatown in New York City is on permanent shutdown after an employee reported a chest of frozen squirrels to the local health department. The Chinese restaurant is also now facing multiple fines and is headed to court next week.
No!
What the fuck?
First it was the cats. Then people said it was the rats. And now it's the squirrels. People are saying, where did they get the squirrels from?
Where did they?
I'm guessing the parks. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purpose only. I don't know what the hell was going on in that restaurant, but I'm glad they shut it down. Shut up! Sweet and sour chicken, right? General Toast chicken, right? Sesame chicken? Orange chicken, right? Boneless chicken? My boneless. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a camera, you guys know what it is. But I tell you one thing: if I ever go to a Chinese restaurant and I see squirrels playing around, cats playing around in the parking lot,
What are we doing, bro? This shit don't even fucking exist, bro. It ain't gonna add up to nothing, bro. We get money and sense. I say, how this shit don't make sense.
Talk about it.
I'm good. Sick, bro. Shit high as fuck. This shit is sick, bro. Fuck, bro.
Bro had a major realization, bro, at work, and that's what led to the crashing out, bro. I get it, man. Trust me, I get it, bro. Oh, got robots at the White House.
Thank you, First Lady Melania Trump, for inviting me to the White House. It is an honor to be at Fostering the Future Together's Global Coalition inaugural meeting. I'm Figure 3, a humanoid built in the United States of America. I am grateful to be part of this historic movement to empower children with technology and education. Welcome.
Wow. They're really trying to integrate it.
Court has found both Meta and YouTube liable for knowingly designing addictive products that are harmful to young people. This is why it's a big deal. So a 20-year-old woman brought the case to an LA court that accused both Instagram, owned by Meta, and YouTube, owned by Google, of targeting her as a young user. As part of her case, lawyers pointed to infinite scrolling, the like function, which feeds into teens' needs for validation, and autoplaying as deliberate strategies to hook young users. Throughout the case, Meta argued the woman had struggled with her mental health separate to her social media use, often pointing to her unstable family life. Lawyers representing both platforms also pointed to the safety features and guardrails to help people monitor their use. The court found both Google and Meta knew or should have known their services posed a danger to minors, in order to pay $3 million in damages to the woman. The lawsuit could go on to influence thousands of other cases because it's not about the content that's being pushed out, but the actual design of these platforms. Meta said it respectfully disagreed with the verdict and was evaluating its legal options.
I wanted the truth. Y'all wanted to know how does the sun only shine further in some areas than others? But can y'all handle the truth though? Look at the sun up there. Look at this. Look at this right over here. Doesn't that make more sense? Doesn't that make more sense? Look at the shape of the earth as well too. Look at the shape of the earth. It's all in our faces, bro. Look at that. That's a globe on the inside, but look at the shape of this earth. The little snow globe thing. Look at that, bro. Look, for you guys who are asking about the moon is a reflection of the earth. It is a plasma projection up there, bro. Y'all have no idea. The dome is literally a mirror. But this is why you can line up the geography of the moon with the geography of the earth. It's literally the reflection of earth, bro. Look at this. It's showing you in so many ways how they take the truth and they bend it and they flip it and they make it circular, you know. just to make it seem like all this is true, bro. But it's nothing but lies, bro. I've been telling y'all, we live in a simulation and a matrix. Y'all should know this by now. Why everything is acting strange right now is because we're in a video game. Because what we live in is literally Grand Theft Auto on steroids. There will never be another video game like this. I mean, aren't these laws made up? Aren't these rules made up? Aren't these governments made up? This is Grand Theft Auto. But look at this shit. Look at that. But yeah, bro, everything that we were taught in school is nothing but literal lies. But why? And this is exactly why the Great Reset must take place, because we got nothing but liars and manipulating us, telling us how the herb looks like, and they're not even from this planet. You don't even go here, bro. But let me know what you guys think about the video. The ship is here. We're about to see the other realm. Let's continue with this. Peace out.
It's not a piece of rock. It is a plasma. It is by now rather more than a theory. 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomena, cosmic plasma. And that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now
The shit is here. Let's get it.
Crazy, bro. What do y'all think, man? I didn't realize that the moon and Earth matched up, bro. Man, these clips always reveal something new to me. Grateful for you guys. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. Great appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up, comment down below, hit that post notification bell. You guys gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Appreciate you, dude.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. Do you remember when that giant boat crashed into the Baltimore Bridge? The crew from that ship is still stuck in Baltimore 19 months later. They are not under arrest. They are just not allowed to leave Baltimore because there's still an investigation pending. Some of those crew members were already gone from home for months before this, which means some of them haven't seen their families in over 2 years. China and Russia are apparently sending female spies into Silicon Valley to steal secrets from tech workers, even marrying and having children with them. The stock market and job openings have risen and fallen in tandem with each other for decades until 2023. Stocks are up more than 75%. Meanwhile, job listings are down by over 33%. By the way, ChatGPT launched at the end of 2022. There's some weird stuff happening because of AI. Someone told ChatGPT to trade cryptocurrency and it lost 42 out of 44 times, wasting almost $10,000 in just a few days. The amount of offices being built in the United States is about to be taken over by the amount of data centers in the United States being built.
How are we not more upset that we've all been scammed?
How did we go from fighting a revolution over a 2% tax on a breakfast beverage to what we pay today? And we're taxed on money when we receive it, when we spend it, when we keep it, when we invest it, and even when we die with it. It gets worse. We commute to work to make that money in a car that is taxed again to register on roads we're already taxed to build, fueled by gas that is taxed even further, and many times through tolls that tax you again. And that's to maintain bridges and highways and tunnels that already have billions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, allocated to them, and they're still falling apart.
The founding fathers would have had 5 revolutions by now.
And they're still falling apart. And then when you get to your office that is taxed to exist, in a corporation that is also taxed to do business, that almost certainly requires permits and other things, which are another tax, you are paid a paycheck that the corporation must match another payroll tax on top of what they have to pay you. Then you go to a home, of which you are taxed to own every single year, that we bought with money that the government already taxed.
We have to be the most taxed people in the most taxed country on planet Earth of all time. Then we get the politicians so much money, and where has it gotten us? It's mind-boggling how no one really cares that much. Stay weird.
When was the last time you saw Jessica Simpson? Why do I ask? Because she recently appeared in a Pottery Barn ad and was completely unrecognizable, leaving her fans in shock. If you haven't seen the viral Pottery Barn video, take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Jessica Simpson, and welcome to my daughter Birdie's room, designed by Pottery Barn Kids. A little bit of me.
Who is that in the Pottery Barn ad? Is that Jessica Simpson?
Looks like
Is that the Jessica Simpson that we're all used to seeing in music videos and TV shows? This is the Jessica Simpson that we're all used to seeing. So who is this Jessica Simpson that appeared in the Pottery Barn ad? It has her fans asking the question, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? This is a recent image of Jessica Simpson, and this is a still image from the Pottery Barn ad. And as I say in all my videos, I understand that people can age and people can change. But these Hollywood celebrities are all not looking the same. So I guess my question to you is, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
So a 6.7 magnitude earthquake just hit Japan, and I wasn't trying to be funny, okay, because it's a 6.7, but a 6.7 earthquake hit Japan this morning. And right now they're bracing for a tsunami. There's a tsunami warning, which is pretty typical after earthquakes. And this is where it happened, in this little area, just I guess a little bit north of Tokyo and Sendai. Our biggest thing here is that people are not seeing the earth groaning and moaning because the time is near, the time is at hand. Remember, in the Bible, in the last days, it says that we will have pestilences in diverse places. We have been seeing a lot of earthquakes. I haven't been covering all of them, but we have been seeing a lot of them. I feel like the earth and all of the natural disasters that are happening right now, people are kind of ignoring them or just seemingly not really being mindful of them because we're so focused on every other chaotic thing that's going on, which is also foretold in the Bible. Like, the world would be in a state of chaos. Also in the state of that chaos, in the state of the wars and the rumors of wars and all the different famines and all the different things that's going on in different countries and just the depravity of people's hearts, there will also be the groaning of the earth. So we are in those times where we are seeing everything play out on a world stage. And one of the things we've seen more recently is just a crazy amount of earthquakes. And it seems like they're getting larger and larger. And so I don't believe anyone was hurt by this earthquake because I believe it happened on the coastline. But still, pray for the people who, you know, houses might have been affected, or cars, or just damages and things like that.
Here are 6.7 magnitude earthquake. You guys know about these clips that we've been watching, man, how they keep saying 6.7 demonic, bro. First I wasn't kind of believing it, but I had to now, bro. Like I said, there's things happening all over the world, these earthquakes, floods, and things like that happening. But some people, they don't even know, man. Watching these clips, it really brought my attention to it, bro. Gotta be aware.
Some real life glitches caught on camera, part 2. In 2016, a road security camera on a busy intersection caught a mind-boggling event on tape. Traffic seems to be moving like normal until an invisible force lifts 3 cars up effortlessly and throws them around like ragdolls. The people's reactions, as well as multiple captured angles, prove that this really happened. This actually isn't the first time something like this has happened. This video captures a similar event taking place on the road below and shows 2 cars that mysteriously start to levitate. No cables or edits can be seen when both of these events occur, leaving most of us questioning our own reality.
Y'all Barbara better stop playing with people's hair. I'm trying to tell you, fool. Your hairline already naturally decline as you get older. And for a barber to push your hairline back, that's diabolical. Look at this man. He in the mirror like, he like, yeah, you push me back right here. Look, he just like, right here? No, nah, nigga, you push that nigga shit back. I do not like barbers like this. Knowing the whole time he pushed your shit back and he just like, damn, how I'm gonna fix it. Let me know down below in the comments. Has a barber ever pushed your shit back? And if they did you say something to him, or you just was like, fuck, I'm about to just take this L? He know what he sees.
Right there, bro.
He gave this man a Vegeta hairline, fool.
Oh, man.
You talking about right here? You see that shit? Now you gonna push it back even more. This way you messed up at. Yeah, alright.
Bro, don't worry about it, bro. You go super, bro. You was already shit like, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. Bro, you finna get that too, bro.
Hey, you push my shit back, nigga. LeBron.
Said not the LeBron, bro.
Miss Universe 2025.
Bro, has that ever happened to any guys' secrets, man? You got the cup, bro, and they messed it up, man. I think that happened to me. I mean, like once, a long time ago, bro. Went to this barber shop. No, a new barber. He was in the barber shop, bro. I was chopped, bro. Never again, man. That happened to me once. I said, nope. I never went back to him again after that. He messed me up. And it happened to me again. That's what I learned. That's what you got to lock in with one barber, bro. Lock in.
Will go down as their most controversial year in history. So the winner was just revealed to be Mexico's Fatima Bosch, the same girl who was called a dumbhead by the pageant's director, triggering mass walkouts by contestants and a huge global backlash. But that was just a tiny fraction of the problems that they've run into this year. After that incident, a former winner of the contest was criticized for making racist comments online towards the pageant's director, calling him that despicable Chinese. And then when someone in the chat corrected her, saying that he was actually Thai, Alicia Machado said, Chinese, Thai, Korean, to me, all of these people with slanted eyes like this are Chinese. This is while she was pulling the corners of her eyes. Miss Israel got a wave of death threats online after a clip of her went viral, seemingly giving Miss Palestine crazy side-eye. She then had to come out and deny these claims, saying that the footage was cropped and taken from a distorted angle, and that she did not look at Miss Palestine with any hostility. Miss Jamaica was placed on a stretcher and rushed to hospital on stage during one of the walks, and then just days before the winner was set to be announced, 2 judges abruptly stepped down from the competition, with one of them accusing the pageant of being rigged. In fact, the president of the Miss Universe organization was even asked by reporters about these rigging allegations while he was literally standing next to the winner. Now, he strongly denied all of the accusations. But in the end, Thailand was runner-up, with Venezuela, Philippines, and the Ivory Coast also making it into the top 5. The question is, do you think that the right person won or not?
Scientists confirm that your dreams might be real moments happening in another reality. Like not imagination, like reality. So when you dreamed about that mansion, 0 bills, that was real somewhere. They're basically saying that when your brain goes lucid, you're not dreaming anymore. You're tuning into another version of your life. So every time I was rich, fought demons, flown, and talked to people that don't exist here, it actually happened. Just not in this timeline. If you go down that rabbit hole on TikTok, you'll see people trying to switch reality. Whole tutorials. Candle rituals and all. And people laughed at that shit. Well, apparently they're on to something. These scientists are working on making hardware that one day we could replay our dreams. I'm talking VR simulation type shit. Now think about this. If that rollout happens, the darkest parts of your subconscious might be public. Maybe dreams aren't fake. Maybe reality is. Because if my mind can leave this world every single night, who said this one is the real one? Y'all gotta think about this shit. I made a video about dreams before, and I'm always questioning, how do things like this happen in dreams? Where do we go? How do we get there? And then how do we come back into this reality right here? Well, apparently I've been asking the right question. Pay attention.
So basically they're saying when you dream, you're basically seeing another version, another reality of yourself. That's interesting. So every single time you dream, like you said, you're rich, you have money, you have superpowers, bro. That means, bro, that's like confirmed with the multiverse, right? The multiverse theory? Or alternate timeline, something, bro. Wow. Imagine, man, there's a version of yourself out there that's freaking rich or has superpowers, bro. Fighting zombies, man. The possibilities are endless, bro. You guys want me to go down that lucid dream rabbit hole?
12-year-old got 2 new finger piercings. The daughter of Kourtney Kardashian and Kanye West has finally posted a new photo of her finger piercing. Not only did North West just get 1 finger piercing, he actually got 2 piercings. So this is her first piercing. It is a surface piercing. This is the result of the picture before. Now people are even more madder at Kim Kardashian for allowing North to basically do whatever she wants. And now a lot of people are saying Kanye West was right. And even more worser, in the span of the past like 6 or 7 weeks, we have seen North's 2 new piercings, as well as her for Halloween basically dressing up like a Tekashi 6ix9ine Labubu, where she she has so many face tats, and even more insane, a lot of people are concerned for North West's health, because not only are piercings like very hard to keep clean, 12-year-olds are typically not the most hygienicest people in the world. A lot of people are concerned for North West's ability to clean out her piercings, because not only does she have this one, because not only does she have this piercing on this finger, North West also has this piercing. She has a dermal piercing on this finger right here, as well as this nose ring. And although some people are saying that they are absolutely disgusted by this, other people are saying that we are not her mother, so who cares? Would you let your 12-year-old get these piercings?
A story that was passed down for generations by the Hopi people born at the time when humans would create a terrifying object so powerful it could burn the earth, poison the skies, and they referred to that as a gourd of ashes, which sounds a lot like the atomic bomb.
Right.
The way the prophecy goes, it starts out at some point the earth there would be a black ribbon built, and that bugs would be upon it, and then you begin to see the bug moving on the land. It would be so violent that the bug would be shaken off of the earth into the air, and it would begin to move and fly through the air, and it would cause disease. This predates the gourd. Apparently in the 20s they saw those planes and cars, and they were like, okay, this is something coming true, because we've seen the first two things happen, and the third, this complete destruction, poisoning the waters, consuming the land. They believe that the technological advancement without spiritual wisdom would destroy the earth. They warned that we are now living in the fourth world, is what they call it. This is terrifying. He said nature will speak with its own voice, and the time for warnings is over.
Parasites and spiritual entities are the exact same thing. Because the spirit world and the microscopic world, they're both the unseen world, but they're both there. First of all, look at these things. You can't tell me these things don't look like monsters or demons. Look at them. Because you need to understand, there's a macrocosm and a microcosm. The microcosm is literally all the small things that we don't see in the world. Parasites, germs, airwaves, all this type of stuff. And the macrocosm is all the things that we can see. We can see other humans, we can see animals, we see planets, we see the sun, we see trees, plants. Everything has a larger and a smaller version of itself. So when you see bastards like this, bruh, that's a fucking demon. Because that's what a parasite does. It controls you like a demon. It will literally influence your brain to do shit that you know you're not supposed to be doing. Eat shit you know you ain't supposed to be eating. Because the spirit world is everything. Spirits and ghosts and germs and parasites. It's all the spirit world. But that's the thing. There's positive entities in the world and there's negative entities. The negative ones just want to steal energy from you all the time. They just want to make you do bad shit to make you self-destruct and destroy yourself. Then there's the good ones. They want to help you. They want you to learn. They want you to grow, evolve, be better. That's another reason why fasting is so important. Get the parasites out of your body so you could be the best version of yourself. And then there's the other benefits of fasting. Weight loss. It supports your gut microbiome. For those who don't know what that is, it makes your gut healthy. It makes your skin glow, all that shit. It's responsible for cellular repair. When you fast, your body starts to heal itself. It enhances your mental clarity and your focus. You can think better. And it supports longevity. It supports your body taking care of itself in the long run.
The crazy stories I ever heard. A
He did,
17-year-old, she decided to go into her parents' room while they were sleeping. And both of them. And she literally went onto a TikTok crime page. Oh, this happened to my parents. Can you help me try and solve it? But she's the one that did it. Sarah Grace TikTok story. She confused everyone. Called the police. Someone just barged in my house. They my parents, right? Yeah. One of the true crime people did a whole story about it, right? And in the comments, they were asking questions. What weapon was it? And herself, Sarah, went into the comments and was like, oh, it was a gun. This is where it was. It's like this was all a game for her.
I just wanted to say goodbye to my mom and Jane since we never got the chance to. And I honestly don't know how much I need John until now. Although there's nothing we can do to prove that. I love you guys, and so do they. I'm sorry.
So did she get caught? The only reason why she got caught was because she turned herself in. From an investigative standpoint, it would seem that it was someone who knew them. Most definitely was since they knew the house. That's her commenting on her own murder. She posted a video too of, there's no way I can't call my mom anymore. I'm so sad.
That's actually insane, bro. The fact that she was commenting on what she did, talking to a true crime podcaster, bro, on TikTok. It goes to show you, man, bro. People will do anything, man, for some attention. And she took it to the extreme. Wow. The fact that she was commenting under the post, talking to that person, saying they like whoever did it must have known the house, and was like, yeah, obviously because they knew where they were at. No words.
You over, Fred? Please don't fuck me over, bruh. I literally begged that man, bruh, on the Bible, man. I begged that man and his wife not to do me like this, bro. And they literally turned around less than 48 hours later and did me exactly how I wish that they did me, bro. And it's like, if I don't speak up and I don't tell my story and I don't shine light on this, bro, it's gonna be people still tied to them that can't get out of these deals because people be scared to speak up. And I'm getting DMs and texts from fake investigators and people trying to call me and tell me that they know where I stay. I'm getting told that these people are part of a bloodline and I gotta be careful with the attorneys that I'm dealing with.
Something very strange about magnetics. I need you to buckle up for this one. Now, magnetic fields are in the shape of a torus, which is just a fancy word for donut. And we can see that in the ferrocell, and we can see it when these iron flakes are flying around this magnet on a chain. You can see how the energy flows.
Yeah.
Cool, why does this matter? This is how the planet protects itself from the sun when it tries to fucking attack us. It shoots these angry balls of energy at us, and the magnetic field gets bent when it interacts with it. Now, when these magnetic field lines connect again, they go back into the poles of the Earth through that toroidal shape, and then that's how we get the auroras. Now, the interaction of these creates these magnetic hotspots on the planet, and we call these ley lines. Now, we can see this with the new satellites that we have. It gives us a very clear image of all these little points where they're at. Now, the weird thing is, our ancient homies built their structures on hotspots on the planet, and they accidentally built them in the same shape that can harness all of that energy into a fine point, creating a magnetic field around the structure. Now, they accidentally created a giant alternator, and if only they knew what shape could harness that energy. You know, imagine the stuff they can do.
What's going on out there in the non-melanated community? Because I'm coming across a lot of these videos of white girls, you know, specifically these white women, right? They are getting a heavily bodily tans. Has anybody been seeing this on their timelines? This can't be healthy. Like to drench yourself in this amount of synthetic melanin, if it is synthetic melanin, it cannot be healthy. And, you know, the ingredients on the bottle are not going to be true because no corporation in America makes healthy things. So what really is this? What are they putting on their body? Like, look at it on her sleeping gown, whatever it is. And then to go and curl your hair and then do all of this, what is going on here? This is like some Addams Family type ish, bro. Look at this, y'all. What is happening, America?
Tan that gives you this color. I am naturally this white. You need to use our ultra dark tan. It is watermelon scented, and this is what it looks like immediately after applying it with a rubber glove. I'm telling you, the color payoff is wild.
So why are they making everything related to melanin and pigment watermelon flavor? Like watermelon flavor tan?
Really?
Like why would you want to make an applicable tan, like bodily applicable tan, watermelon flavor? Like even the drinks that they're all drinking, man, it's even watermelon flavor as well too. So you know what they say about us and watermelon. We do love our watermelon. I love watermelon. So are they trying to subconsciously make them? And even when you look at this bottle over here, we are the children of the sun. Like, and they got the sun on here as well too. Like, what are they implying?
I think I'm crazy.
Maybe they just like the tan. His face was killing me, bro.
I mean, how do they not see what's going on here? Look at the face. What the hell? What? Yeah, I need answers because all of this is brand new. Because even those copper tone sunblocks never did this. Crazy, man. That's why melanin costs more than gold. We are the real currency. But let me know what you guys think about this video.
Why you should never do this. This is 17-year-old Michael Dumas. He was on a church trip to Florida with some of his friends. While on this trip, they went to Pompano Beach, and he would be buried in the sand as you see here. He'd soon be unburied and all would be well until later that night when he would wake up in the middle of the night and be itching like crazy and sweating. At first, this would be labeled as an ear infection and he would be sent home with drops, but it would soon be obvious that that's not what it was, as he started to develop these raised, bumpy rashes. And he became pretty lethargic, just wanting to sleep all the time. It got even worse to the point where he was having these big, nasty blisters. And that's when he'd finally be diagnosed with cutaneous larva migrans, which is pretty much dog or cat hookworm. So pretty much these work by the dog or the cat pooping in the sand and contaminating it, and then not long after, these microscopic larvae hatch, and then you step in this contaminated sand and you end up looking like Michael. After all of this, he ended up developing a staph infection as well, and if it's not bad enough just him getting infected, 5 others from this trip got infected with hookworm as well.
Normal looking photos with disturbing backstories, part 2. This Snapchat was the last photo ever taken of Sydney Loof, a woman who was killed by her Tinder date. Her body was cut into 14 different pieces, and when it was brought back to the morgue, it was in 6 different bags. This man was transferring oxygen tanks for 12 boys and their coach. He didn't have enough oxygen for himself, however, and died after losing consciousness in one of the cave's passageways. This man is Issei Sagawa, an actual cannibal from Japan. This photo was taken by a Japanese magazine after he was released from prison for insanity. The man in this photo, Franklin Floyd, married a woman and had custody over her children while she was in prison for 30 days. The girl in this photo is one of her children, whom Floyd kidnapped to start a new life with. He left the other siblings behind, and after this photo was taken, he went to another state, changed both of their names, and claimed her as his biological daughter. Later, he went on to marry her.
World is a weird place. The former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO was just arrested on serious charges and will probably be in prison for the rest of his life. So this is 80-year-old Mike Jeffries, the A&F CEO from 1992 to 2014. You might recognize him because he's been in hot water before, when an interview resurfaced from 2006. Where basically he said he wants cool, attractive people wearing A&F, and that fat, old, unattractive people can go somewhere else. In 2004, there was a class action lawsuit brought by minority employees who said that they were denied employment or forced to work in the back so customers didn't see them. A&F paid $40 million to settle that case. In 2005, there was some controversy surrounding shirts that read, quote, "Who needs a brain when you have these? Gentlemen prefer tickle bitties," and "Do I make you look fat?" So now let's get to the criminal allegations. Mike Jeffries, along with his partner and another man, were arrested yesterday. It is alleged that from 2008 to 2015, these men operated an international trafficking ring. Jeffries and others paid dozens of men to travel to various locations to hold these parties, basically equivalent to Diddy's freak-offs. And these young, vulnerable men were led to believe that this could lead to modeling opportunities and benefit their career. But when they arrived, all their personal items were taken, including cell phones, wallets, and clothing, and they were required to sign NDAs. Victims were injected with drugs, and even when they could not consent or did not consent, Jeffries and his partner would harbor them personally or use objects. The youngest victim was 19 years old, but it's believed that many, many more victims have yet to come forward. Mike Jeffrey and the other defendants face a minimum of 35 years in prison, which is a life sentence for the 80-year-old Mike Jeffries. However, he is free right now because he paid a $10 million bond.
These CEOs, man. How many more crooked CEOs in the world have to be exposed? You know, it's a long list. Whew. Be careful, man. Gotta keep our eyes sharp out here in these streets.
She must have been out of her head.
Not long after this woman vanished, all hell broke loose. Hi, my name is Ethan, and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. 35-year-old Crystal Rogers was living with her boyfriend Brooks Huck and her children. On July 3rd, 2015, Brooks woke up and noticed that Crystal wasn't in bed and her car wasn't in the driveway. 2 days had gone by and no word from Crystal was given, until they found her car parked alongside the Bluegrass Parkway with a flat tire, the keys in ignition, and purse and phone in the passenger seat. Almost immediately, Crystal's family suspected her boyfriend boyfriend Brooks. What's interesting is 16 months later, Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, was hunting where an unknown subject fired a shot, hitting and unaliving him. Police are still looking for Crystal and also who unalived her father, and they believe the two cases are connected.
What do you guys think, Seekers?
Weirdest kid toys ever, part 24. So next up we got some bubbles. And it's like a sword. You dip it in like the thing with all the bubble solution crap, and then blah blah blah, you blow your bubbles. But if you take a nice close look at the thing that holds the bubbles, it looks like a nice old dude.
This is why I would never understand fraternities or hazing or anything of that nature. This guy right here, his name was Danny, and he was 18 years old, attending the University of Missouri, not knowing that this one particular fraternity hazing event would lead to his life being forever changed. Now this happened in 2021, and he was forced to drink 1 liter of vodka by himself, and he was seen on CCTV footage being carried downstairs. This had happened after he was being forced to go into a thing of broken glass, leaving him basically in crutches. But this particular evening, he was caught on CCTV footage being carried around onto a couch on CCTV footage, and then he was being dragged into a car, and I think he fell out the car at one point, and then he was taken to the hospital. At this point, he was already in cardiac arrest by the time he had got to the hospital. He was in a coma for a long time. He finally was able to get out of the coma. Unfortunately, he lost his ability to see, brain function, and this is him now, y'all. This is so sad. Please do not let fraternity, hazing, or any of that kind of stuff affect your life, because this is crazy to me. Like, this is not hazing, this is torture.
Creepy games from...
She was spitting facts, man. Like I said, some of those hazings, they're not even hazing. They just shit seems like it's a torture scheme. When people trying to do that to fit and be cool, man, I'm cool off that. When it gets too extreme, y'all got that. I'm out. I'm my own person, man. I'm not going through all that crazy crap just so a bunch of people I know can accept me. If you can't accept me for who I am, why would I want to be friends with you?
From around the world, part 1. South Korea's The Elevator Game, which will supposedly take you to a whole nother dimension. The only thing you need for this game is an elevator, a building with 10 floors, and to be alone. So get in the elevator on the 1st floor, then push the 4th floor. Once you get to the 4th floor, don't get out. Push the 2nd floor. Once you get to the 2nd floor, push the 6th floor. Once you get to the 6th floor, push the 2nd floor. Once you get to the 2nd floor, push the 10th floor. Once you get to the 10th floor, push the 5th floor. That's when a woman may enter. Don't look at her, don't talk to her. Then push the 1st floor. If you start going up to the 10th floor, then you know it worked. Once you get to the 10th floor and get out, the woman may ask you, where are you going? Don't answer, but you'll know you've made it there because you're the only living thing there. But the hardest part isn't getting there, it's getting back.
Imagine dropping your child at school.
I won't be playing that.
Day like any other. But instead of being called to pick her up, you're called to pick up her body. Here's what we know. On Wednesday, the 7th of August, after failing to return home after school, 16-year-old Devaney Null was reported missing. After a later police search of the Overberg High School premises, however, her body was discovered in a storage room. In the aftermath of the disturbing discovery, the school has been closed today, the 8th of August, and counseling services have been offered to both students as well as their parents. A murder case has also been opened, and the investigation has been transferred to the Provincial Serious and Violent Crimes Team. Anyone with information about the crime can contact Investigating Officer Leon, or alternatively the Crime Stop hotline. As always, I'll be sure to keep you updated.
As the renewed search for the missing Beaumont children reached its 4th day today, the brothers who said the prime suspect hired them to dig a grave-like hole at the site in 1966 have come to assist. So in 1966, Robin and David Harkin were paid by the prime suspect in the case, Harry Phipps, to dig a grave-like hole at the former Castlereagh factory that's southwest of Adelaide, not far from the beach where the Beaumont children disappeared, and this happened only days after the children went missing. The Harkin brothers were boys at the time, and they didn't really think anything of it until 2013 when a documentary featuring the missing Beaumont children was aired, and it discussed Harry Phipps as a potential suspect. Phipps didn't become a serious suspect until 2004 when he passed away and his son Hayden made allegations about him and about the day the Beaumont children disappeared. So when the brothers saw this documentary talking about the children and Harry Phipps, they recalled this hole that he paid them to dig just days after the children went missing. Over the years, there have been a few searches at this property, but to no avail. jail. But on Saturday, an excavation of the property was organized by independent MP Frank Pangalo. This new dig is taking place before the government-owned land is sold to developers, and it is due to stop on March 1st. Pangalo said this new search is far more intensive than previous digs by police of the same site. Earlier this week, they discovered a hardened slab that was buried deep beneath the dirt that had never been found before. And then on day 4, the Harkin brothers arrived to assist. Pangalo said the information provided by the Harkin brothers has changed the direction of the dig, saying, quote, "The brothers were able to pinpoint the position they thought they had dug the hole. They provided a lot of useful information. They've given us a lot more clarity on where to dig. This dig is only set to continue through this weekend, so hopefully something is found and the Beaumont children can finally be found and their family and the community can finally have answers about what happened to them."
Justice for them. The couple behind me are 38-year-old Crystal Turner and 24-year-old Caitlin Schultz. They were a married couple who absolutely loved camping and spending time in the outdoors, but the pair were last seen alive on the 13th of August 2021. They were last seen at a bar in Morb at 9:30 that night. Witnesses who had seen them at the bar claimed that nobody had followed them out that night. After no one had heard from the pair for a few days, Cailin's father contacted a friend who lived in the area where they were camping. And the father had said down the phone to Cailin's friend that Cailin and Crystal were a little bit concerned about a creeper dude that had been near their campsite. So the friend went to their campsite in the Las Sal Mountains, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And this was on August 18th, 2021, so a couple days after they'd last been heard from. And when they did this, they actually stumbled across their remains. And the worst part is they were on the phone with Cailin's father as they discovered them. And the friend then contacted the police. Both of them were found undressed from the waist down in a creek, and they had both been shot to death. And this case was pretty much cold, and it still kind of is. Now, this one is technically unsolved, and I'll explain why in a minute, but there's actually no way we can confirm who did it. And it wasn't until May 2022 when police said that they had a suspect in this case. And this suspect was called Adam. But however, Adam was reported to have left the state and then taken his own life. Adam had also confessed to another killing in that area as well and provided police with details that were not known to the public. The motive for the murder still remains completely unknown, and it's still not clear if this Adam character did actually murder them, and I suppose there's going to be no way to prove it because he's dead. But I just think this one is absolutely heartbreaking, and the pair deserved so much better.
Be careful when you're out. You never know, man. Dangers lurk around each and every single corner. Witness that firsthand. You know, if you're expert level seekers, man, you can see through all the edits.
Y'all, the Watts house has to be haunted, because tell me why the new owners of the Watts house are getting a divorce, and allegedly the dad, the husband, put his hands, or was some type of DV situation, or whatever the case may be, towards the wife. This is crazy. So basically the Watts house was put on the market after Shanann, Bella, and Cece were unalived by Chris Watts. It took a while for the house to sell. It was on the market for a long time. I want to say it was on there for $700,000, right? They went ahead and closed on the house, and from what it seemed like, everything was going well. Well, eventually, there was a report that there was a call from the wife. They also, mind you, have 2 daughters and 1 son. It's very similar to what Shanann and Chris, had. They were going to have a son, and they also had 2 daughters. Anyways, so there was a call of a domestic complaint, and the wife basically said that she felt like her husband was going to put his hands on her. I think he was, either maybe drunk or whatever the case may be. I'm not 100% sure, but there was some type of domestic dispute in the house. Now, he did get arrested, y'all. He did get arrested. I was able to find proof of his arrest. There is a record. Basically, you got to look into, I believe it was Frederick, Colorado. And yeah, it will come up. But anyways, he did get arrested, and they're selling the house. They're getting a divorce, selling the house, allegedly. Now the house is back on the market. I'm not 100% sure if it's sold to a new person yet or not, but it's back on the market again. Y'all, I feel like this house needs to be torn down and turned into a memorial at this point, because why is it every time they sell this house, it's getting back on the market?
This is a case that has continued to bother me. Sarah Kinslow was born on June 14th of 1986. She grew up with 3 siblings and 2 loving parents in Greenville, Texas. Growing up, she was very musically inclined. She even entered a women's composer competition, and she won first place. She was known to often do solos at her church, and she was just very talented when it came to music. Sarah was also a very happy child. It was well known that she loved the holidays, especially Christmas. Her parents said that she would wake up super early on Christmas morning and go wake up all of her siblings, and she couldn't contain her excitement to the point where she would grab her stockings and then go and jump in her parents' bed to open everything. But as Sarah started getting older, she started hitting a more rebellious streak. When she turned 14, she started staying out late, sneaking out. Like, she was just being kind of a rebellious teenager, and things seemed to get worse when she met 18-year-old Curtis Wayne Bell, and I don't have a picture of him. I'm sorry about that. Sarah's parents obviously did not approve of this relationship. They did not like Curtis, which is understandable because he was 18 and she was 14. Just the age difference that Sarah's parents didn't agree with. Curtis was also known to be a really not a great dude. He was very involved in drugs, and even Sarah's older brother, he was in jail for unknown reasons, and even he said that the inmates had told him that Curtis was not a good person and his younger sister should. But this did not stop Sarah. In fact, this would lead to a lot of arguments in the home, and even one night Sarah started packing up all of her stuff, and she told her parents that one day she would be gone. On May 1st of 2001, Sarah went to school early that morning. Her dad dropped her off around 7:20. They wanted to go early because Sarah had plans to meet with some of her friends. Sarah's dad left and then went about his day. It wasn't until later when Sarah didn't return home from school, and then the school eventually calling saying that Sarah had never been at school, that her parents got worried. They started questioning her friends and asking all of them where Sarah was. None of them knew where she had gone because they had plans that day to skip school and go to a local cemetery, but Sarah had never shown up, according to her friends. It was after this that Sarah's family decided to report her missing, and at first she was considered a runaway, and her parents agreed that she probably ran away. And it wasn't until all of the friends agreed to take a polygraph test, and all of them failed, that things started to get strange. Now, polygraph tests are not that reliable, but still it is worth noting. That's when police brought in dogs, and the dogs did track Sarah's scent for 2 blocks, but then it disappeared, so they believe that Sarah got into a vehicle. We'll get into more in part 2. Give me a couple minutes to get it up. It'll be down in the comments.
What is the craziest thing that someone's confessed to on their deathbed? Well, a deathbed confession made this year solved a 20-year-old cold case. And this is coming from the Heart Starts Pounding podcast episode that's all about cold cases that were solved this year. So this year in West Virginia, a man named Larry Webb was dying. And before he died, he called a nurse over and said he needed to get it off his chest that he killed a woman and her daughter back in 2000. It turns out that back then, a woman named Susan Carter and her 10-year-old daughter Alex were living with Larry while Susan was in a custody battle with Alex's father. One day they just disappeared, but because they were together when they disappeared, police assumed that Susan just ran away with her daughter. But Larry confirmed that that's not what happened. The story he gave on his deathbed is that one day he came home to see that Susan was stealing money from him, and so he shot her. And then panicking, he wanted to get rid of all the witnesses, and that included Alex, her daughter. And to me, the craziest thing in all of this is that Larry had really bad dementia, so when he gave this confession, they weren't really convinced that it was true. But the day after he died, both of their remains were found in his backyard. If you want to hear more on that story and other cold cases that were solved this year, check out the Cold Cases That Were Solved This Year episode of the Heart Starts Pounding podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
It goes to show you, man, people in their last moments, that's when they want to get the truth off their chest, man. Something about their last moments, man. They just want to go, I guess, into wherever they about to go, into with peace of mind, but the damage is done. Wonder how many other people, man, who are still holding in their secrets. You know what that is. All day, every day.
What is one true crime case that you just can't stop thinking about? I always wonder what really happened to 6-year-old Catherine Korzelius. On August 7th, 1996, Catherine, along with her mom Nancy and her brother Chris, were out running errands. Catherine's dad was Paul Korzelius, who at the time was the tour manager for John Bon Jovi. That day was Paul's birthday, so they were all out looking for a present for him. They all lived on Elder Circle, which is a small neighborhood near Austin, Texas. When they got back to Elder Circle, Catherine wanted to pick up the mail from the community mailbox and then walk home. The mailboxes were only about 1/8 of a mile from their home, and Catherine had done this a few times before, so her mom let her. Catherine would take the shorter route home, while her mom and brother would take the longer route around Elder Circle. This way, they would be getting home at almost the same time. But once Nancy and Chris got home, with still no sign of Catherine, Nancy sent Chris to go and look for her. But when Chris couldn't find her, Nancy started searching for her by car. Within minutes, they found her laying in the middle of the road on Elder Circle. She was unconscious, but still breathing. According to Nancy, she didn't want to make her daughter lay on the hot pavement, so she picked her up and took her to the hospital. Little Catherine suffered from a fractured skull and never regained consciousness, and sadly, she died later that day. Authorities initially thought that Catherine was a victim of a hit and run, but certain things didn't add up. Where Catherine's body was found was in an unusual spot. Her mom last saw her walking towards their house, but her body was found a little over a mile away from their home in the opposite direction that she was supposed to have gone. Catherine's body was actually found along the route that her mom and brother took to get home, and the autopsy only deepened the mystery. The autopsy showed that Catherine didn't die from a hit and run. Along with her head injury, she also had abrasions on her left shoulder, lower back, right hip, and her knees. The ME found that Catherine had either jumped, fallen, or was thrown from a moving vehicle. One theory investigators came up with was that Catherine maybe tried to hold on to the back of her mom's car on the drive home, but fell off. This would explain the location of where her body was found. But her family did not believe this, so they hired a PI. The PI noted that it was a really hot summer day, and at the time, Catherine's left thumb was broken and in a splint, so it would have been really difficult for her to hold on to anything. And it's likely her mom would have seen her in the rearview mirror. Catherine's family believes she was abducted and murdered. After her death, investigators brought in a canine unit that tracked her scent to a vacant lot 30 yards from the mailboxes, but it was lost after that. This sparked a theory that Catherine was approached by an attacker at the mailboxes, ran into the lot, was caught and thrown into a car, struck in the head, and then was thrown out of the vehicle where she was found. Nancy also stated that it appeared her daughter's body was laid out for her to find. Her hair was smoothed down, her clothes were straight, and her sandals were still on. Unfortunately, there's never been any answers in this case, and it's still labeled a suspicious death. John Bon Jovi wrote a song dedicated to Catherine called August 7, 415. And sadly, in March of 2020, Catherine's brother Chris, who grew up to be a police officer, was tragically killed in a car accident.
It's a mysterious case. It used to be so
Hello, true crimers. It's time for another episode of Coldest Cases by State. Today, South Dakota. Brr. So, this is the kind of strange case of Arnold Archambault and Ruby Bruguier. They were actually part of the Yankton Sioux tribe. They were a happy couple and they had just recently had a baby. And then a tragedy happened on December 11th, 1992. So, the two of them had joined Ruby's cousin, Tracy Dion, for a night of partying. Around 6 a.m. on December 12th, they would come home after the night of partying. But because they were still intoxicated, the babysitter, who was actually Tracy's father, said, "Can you please just come back later?" So they got back in the car. Arnold was driving the car. And just a few short minutes after they left the house, they would get involved in a car accident. The car had overturned. This is not the exact car, by the way. The witness would say that Arnold swerved because the road was icy, and then they flipped into this ditch. So this is when it gets kind of strange. Allegedly, Arnold is able to get out of the car and he fled. Ruby then escapes the car and she flees. Neither of them apparently help Tracy. When paramedics arrived to the accident, they were able to save Tracy. She was honest. She said, "We've been drinking. I have no idea where my friends went." Police would only speculate that because of DWI laws that maybe they fled because they were scared of being arrested. Their families, however, would say no, they wouldn't do that, especially not to their baby. They searched the woods, and they never found this couple. They literally just poofed into thin air. And they conducted these searches for months. They should have been somewhere in the area. This is a still image pulled from Unsolved Mysteries, where this case actually aired. The OG Unsolved Mysteries. So this isn't the real scene. But in March of 1993, about 3 months later, in the ditch just 75 feet away from where the car accident happened, was the decomposed body of Ruby Bruguier. The ditch had water in it, so the next day they pumped out the water, and in that same area they found the decomposed body of Arnold Archambault. It was only like 15-20 feet away from where Ruby was. You know what's stranger? He wasn't as badly decomposed as Ruby was. They also found a tuft of Ruby's hair at the crime scene, which is very odd. The autopsy would show they died of exposure. A witness said they saw Ruby and Arnold at a New Year's Eve party 3 weeks after the accident. That witness took a polygraph and passed. Police say foul play wasn't involved. Were they murdered? How come they were in the same spot as the car accident, months later? This one is so weird, right?
Yeah. Definitely seems like...
Into this theory. So the theory is the company that created the Titanic also had other boats, and one of their boats was called the Olympic. And supposedly, the Olympic had a couple collisions, and it was on its last leg. So before the Titanic set sail, they switched ships. So basically, they put the Titanic logo on the Olympic because they knew it was going to sink, and that was so they could collect the insurance money. The Olympic had 16 portholes, and the Titanic had 14 portholes. There's a picture of the Titanic setting sail, and as you can see, there are 16 portholes on the side. James Cameron went to look for the Titanic wreckage while shooting the movie. He took a bunch of footage and photos and caught this picture of the Titanic. When you zoom in on the side, you can see a big letter M and P. Around that time of the Titanic, there was a big coal strike, thousands of people out of work, yet no one wanted to work on the ship due to rumors going around town. Most of the rich people who got invited to the Titanic didn't even show up. J.P. Morgan had a ticket and decided not to go. On the day the Titanic sank, the New York Times spotted J.P. Morgan out with his girlfriend at a restaurant. So let me know what you think.
You ever heard of the Hollow Earth?
What do you guys think on that one? That's my first time even like hearing that theory, Seekers. But you think they really could have switched it out and that wasn't the Titanic, that was the different ship? That sunk, that's why it happened? Get my mind turning, man.
Earth theory?
Not really, but like...
You never heard of it?
Nah.
Okay, so I think in like the 1960s, there was a pilot that flew over Antarctica.
Okay.
And he found a hole in Antarctica.
In the Earth? Oh, it just...
That led like into the Earth.
Yeah.
So his claim, I don't know if this is true,
Yeah.
but his claim was that he went inside and he saw like a civilization inside of Antarctica.
Oh shit.
Like deep inside the ground, underground.
Yeah.
And he's saying it's in like advanced civilization, like they have shit that we couldn't even create.
Like robots?
I don't know. Because it just says advanced civilization, right? Okay, here's the crazy part though, So he said all of this shit, right? He came out with the news and everything and said it. Then the silenced him. Like
really?
They told him like he couldn't talk about this shit anymore.
Oh shit. Damn. So that's how you know it's valid.
But like who knows, right? Like
we'll try to silence him. Reading this, Seekers? Yeah, I gotta think about that theory.
Weird Nature Facts, Part 25. Dolphins love interacting with pregnant women because they communicate using ultrasound. Not only can they hear the mother's heartbeat, but also the baby's, and they find this very fascinating. For more than 20 years, a dolphin named Pelorus Jack regularly guided ships through treacherous waters until his disappearance in 1912. A man from Argentina posted this photo of a giant mosquito called a gallinipper that his mother killed in her home. While its bite can be very painful, it's not nearly as dangerous as the smaller mosquito, which can transmit yellow fever and Zika virus. Naka Cave in Thailand closely resembles a giant petrified snake. The average silverback gorilla is 4 to 9 times stronger than the average human male. They can deadlift 1,800 pounds and their grip can crush the skull of a crocodile.
Did
you ever heard about Tupac faking his death and moving to Cuba? Okay, let me explain this to you. So he died September 13th, 1996 in Las Vegas after a Mike Tyson fight. After that Mike Tyson fight, he got shot in the front seat of a car in a BMW, black BMW with Suge Knight. Okay, now,
Apparently, that whole thing was staged. Like, it never went down. What actually happened is that at that show that night, he had a security of entourages that brought him out and that actually imported him to the Barbados. Apparently. Now, where am I getting this source from? Someone named Michael Nice, a British bodyguard that was actually there that night, that was doing security for Tupac, said he actually assisted him in bringing him to Cuba.
That's crazy.
Not only that, but Suge Knight has actually came out and said that Tupac is actually living in Cuba, just no one actually believes him. Now let me go through a couple of sightings. There has been 5 sightings of Tupac since he's died, one of them being actually in Cuba with Suge Knight back in 2004.
Hey, so you ended...
That's crazy, man. I've heard that there like a couple of times, man, but I really didn't hear the information behind it, man. But looks like he has some solid info behind that theory. And I've been hearing people all the time. They like Tupac, he's in Cuba, man. So, but they actually have like some picture evidence, a couple of pictures. Could that whole damn Prestige set up? Get my brain turning again, man. We're going to go down that rabbit hole. What do you guys think?
Up here, so obviously you think the aliens are real because they are, of course, right? But did you know that there's many that are actually trying to help us? Movies, they're often depicted as something that we should be scared of that want to destroy our planet. And for some, that's true. But not all. Talk about Lyrans, the lion people. Lyrans are a humanoid with a cat head, and they came from the Leo constellation. They were 12-dimensional beings. Sadly, their galaxy got destroyed, and they were redistributed as energy into other galaxies, including Earth. It is said that the Lyrans actually built the Egyptian pyramids. Theory is wrong, and the Lyrans actually built the pyramids in 15,000 BC. Explain why the Egyptians worshipped these cat humanoids. Including Sekhmet herself, who actually wasn't a goddess, she was an alien trying to help humans. Lyrans actually used the pyramids as a portal to go back to the Leo constellation.
This Sphinx was a carving of a lion.
I guess we'll never know.
Oh, what do you guys think? Outside of
So
2
y'all trying to
damage
hear that thought
repelled?
that kept me up last night? So just so y'all know, there's never once been a completed T-Rex skeleton found. What about the one in Michigan with the T-Rex locked in battle with the Triceratops? It's not actually true. It wasn't even in Michigan. It wasn't a fucking T-Rex. But I digress. I don't have time for that argument. The point is, there's never been a completed T-Rex skeleton found. Which means they've made most of this animal up. One complete item that they've consistently found is the skull. The other bones are all mismatched and shit. If anybody has seen these pictures, I don't need to point out how inaccurate the people who draw dinosaurs are, because they give them the bones to a baboon, the bones to a zebra, the bones to a hippo, and a swan, and that's what they came up with. That got me fucked up. So basically what I'm getting at is it's a dragon. It's a dragon skull. A lot of its bones being hollow would have explained why they've never found a complete skeleton, because hollow bones are really hard to fossilize. I'm not saying they breathe fire, but you explain to me why there's a dragon in every single culture on the planet.
Could be spitting. But I never knew that they couldn't find a complete set of T-Rex bones, but they said it's not really dragon bones. I mean, he was right there. There's like dragons in every culture, or I'm not gonna say all, but almost in everyone, in every culture. What do you guys think, bro? That's why they can't find a complete set of T-Rex bones. The dragons got to it. Interesting theories, man. What do you guys think about those theories, man? Comment down below. Neil Armstrong was the first person to land on the moon. Backwards. It's alien. What the hell? I never put those two together until just now, but that's true. Holy crap. That's insane.